Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, the Path to Reason. I'm Cynic Plaza, your host, and tonight we're going to talk about the Overton window. Um, I think it's an important topic because, as we see, it's pretty important in our lives as an idea, as a concept, and so what it is, it's the term has been coined by Mr. Overton in I don't remember the date, but it's fairly recent. And what it is the total of the sum of ideas that are accepted at the time and the place. So if you look at any country at a specific time, you had a range of ideas that were acceptable at the time, and that's what the Overton window is about. So the reason why it's important is because it can be manipulated, and we'll see how and why. So imagine you are an American right now, you're a Christian, and you are against abortion. So right now the idea is inside the Overton window because it's acceptable by most of the population and it's allowed by the law. So it's inside the window. So what you want as a Christian, I would say as a fundamentalist Christian, is to have this idea away from that window. And for that, there are several steps you can take. I'm not saying that you should do that, but it's happening right now, and it's been happening in the US for about 3 years at least. And so the idea is to make it unthinkable step by step. So what you can do is, and what they do actually in reality, is attack it from different angles, from the morality angle, from the law angle, from the political angle. And so you have some people who are going to protest outside to ask for abortion to be removed from the law. You have other people who go on TV and say how it's immoral. You'll have politician who will use that argument to be elected and then uh, pretend they're working on it because it's been promised by good politicians for at least a decade, and they've been in power for quite a long time now. So if they really wanted to remove it, they would have done it by now. The reason why they haven't done it is because they don't really care. They only need the argument itself because they need to be able to say, hey, vote for us and then we'll do that. But they don't do it, so they can use the argument forever, basically. So that's one of the things that can happen, removing something that's inside the window to be outside. But the opposite can happen too. If something is outside the law, outside the window, and you want to have it inside, you can try the same thing. For example, in France, the right wing, far right party, which is called uh, the Republicans, funnily enough, uh, they wanted to, uh, for example, they wanted to have France removed from the uh, European Union and also from the Euro monetary union. So that's not acceptable for pretty much anyone in France and in Europe too. And so they do the same thing. They send people on TV to present the idea as if it is acceptable, which makes the idea from unthinkable, which is outside the window, to more and more accepted until it's inside the window. And most populists, whether it's on the right or on the left side, they use this technique uh, to fit their ideas, their fringe ideas, into the the Overton window, and this takes sometimes years and decades. But if there's an organized movement behind it, it it always, almost always, ends up happening. So basically, you have one line where it goes from more freedom to less freedom, and you have this window, this Overton window at the center. You have unthinkable ideas like cannibalism, for example, like pedophilia, like things like that. And then you have radical ideas. Then you have acceptable, sensible, and popular ideas. And you need to go step by step if you want someone outside the window to get in. And this is done by making interviews, making uh, sometimes making studies or scientific discussions, because science should not be limited into its studies. But if you have scientists talking about a very unthinkable topic like cannibalism, as I said, then you make it radical instead of unthinkable, because when you start talking about it, it goes away from the range of unthinkable and goes to the radical position. And then when it's radical, when people start talking about it, then you send people on TV, you send people on the street, you have politicians talking about it, and the more you talk about it, the more you make it acceptable. Uh, just the same way as the as lies. If you repeat them often enough, then at some point they become true, and that's the same idea behind it. So this is why I wanted to talk about this concept, because we don't see it happening live. It goes behind the curtain. It goes uh, in secret discussions, and people with or structures or parties with agenda, they use this knowledge of the Overton window and how you can uh, extract or put in things inside to change people's and countries' ideas and perceptions over time. So be aware that it can happen, and because it is happening right now, pretty much in every country that has a populist uh, president or leader of the country, and or where you have far right, far left party in the country. So be aware of that and take care of what's happening, because it's a very slow process, and but it's still happening. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you find it interesting, and please stay safe out there, because it's still dangerous. The second wave is coming in most countries, so wear a mask and social distance and do everything you can. And we'll see each other in a week, in next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye.